Hello and welcome to the Grove podcast. My name is Moz. I am your host for this evening, and today I am joined by the gruesome twosome that is Tabs and Whale. How are you, chaps?
Oh, thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, love that. Good day, fine sirs. Good day, gruesome twosome. That's a new one. Slightly better than
you called us
the regular.
Yeah, you called us a married couple earlier, for crying out loud. So there we go. I thought you were going to say husband and wife.
Well, you guys were arguing about whether to call Liverpool or whether to call them by the name.
How cringe is that? Pool. Come on.
I couldn't
type out like the extra 5 letters or whatever.
I couldn't be bothered, but there we go. I'm lazy. No, more importantly, how are you, Moz? Just for the non-Grovers who don't know, yeah, you went in 50-50 and came out second. Is that right?
Yeah, but I never lost my jewel, so that's the most important thing, right? Arteta would be so proud of me right now. I did not lose my jewel, so yeah, I went in for a 50-50 on Friday, and yeah, came out second best. Got a broken leg as a result, so doing okay. Painkillers are helping. I've got an ice pack just now that's kind of taped with micropore around my leg, and yeah, it's just been a kind of like a whirlwind of a weekend. It's weird, first ever time I've broken any bone in my body, so that's been interesting. But yeah, no, thank you for asking. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Good.
16 weeks recovery time, which isn't too bad. There's no cast, so I'm okay. It could have been worse.
So it's not like a real broken leg then. Doesn't sound like it.
No, just a wee one. I wouldn't wish this pain on my worst enemy though. And it was crazy. It was just shin on shin contact. It was just one of those things where it happens and then suddenly you feel the pain after maybe like 20 seconds or something.
Yeah,
and it's just the most intense, strong feeling that you could ever imagine. I remember punching the ground, and I physically felt like I was going to be sick. So yeah, major thanks as well to everyone there's a couple of guys who listened to the pod that were playing with me, and massive thanks to them who helped. Apart from one guy, I won't name names, but one guy ran over and has played for Leicester under 21s, I want to say. So he's, played at a good level, and started rubbing my leg like up and down over the shin. And I thought, mate, I could honestly punch you in the face right now. It was awful.
Awful. And surely you should be saying, hey, you should see the other guy. But
you know what?
Sounds a bit.
This is the second time me and him have had a coming together, purely footballing reasons, and our knees clattered against each other a few weeks ago. And I remember saying to him at that point, "Wow, I think you've got bones made out of titanium," because that's how it was agony for me, and he was fine, and he's just a small guy, but yeah, it was. Yeah, I think my leg was dangling in the air a little bit, and he's followed through. So
are his bones titanium or your bones fit you?
What the hell?
Made of red sticks. There we go.
Well, on a more positive note, we ended up winning the game, and I scored 5 goals before the injury. So I'll be back in 2 months' time, ready to make my second debut, if you like. So joining like a new signing.
Yeah, joining Timber in the under 23s. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. But more important news: Arsenal have finally won a game. It's been a while. Feels like it's been first win in 3, isn't it? And after 3 kind of not even banana skin games, just 3 games where we didn't do the job. And as Whale said right before you came on, Tabs, it was the most boring game of football I think I've ever watched this season. And you can shake your head all you want, but Whale and I both agree that it was very boring. It felt like the players were playing at 50% intensity. It felt like we just wanted to win 1-0 and get the hell out of Wolves, which was fair enough. It's not a really nice place. After the last pod, I did some research, and it's nowhere near Birmingham in terms of how nice it can be. So yeah, I mean, how am I feeling about the game and the result today? I guess I'm just feeling relieved that it's over. We've potentially navigated a tricky away game and we come out with 3 points. So that's how I feel. Tabs?
Um, look, I feel relieved. It was a massive game for us after the week that we had, and we got through it. And it could have easily turned out differently, whatever. So I'm just basically look. I understand it wasn't the greatest performance, but at the end of the day, it was the result that counts. It counted, and that's what mattered. And we were pretty much dominant in control throughout the whole game. I just felt that the anxieties around the team and the last few games and the game itself just made it feel a lot worse. And as far as this boring chat, I could not give two tosses, frankly. I could not care less. I will take a boring 1-0 win at this stage of the season, especially what we've gone through, any day of the week. I don't really care. It's the result that mattered, and we just needed to get the job done, and we did it actually with relative ease. And so I'm happy with that. I do have a couple of concerns with the next couple of fixtures. We still look a bit jaded, still lacking a bit of creativity and fluidity from the recent form. But at this stage of the season, I'm really happy that we took the 3 points. We're top of the league, and let's see what happens come Tuesday. So I'm relieved and eventually pretty content.
I can still find the game boring, but still also be relieved at the same time, I guess. I just felt like there was no excitement. And to be fair, the only excitement that I felt was when Thomas Partey came on. It just felt like the team it just seems like we were, like Martin Odegaard was running around like a little puppy in a massive field full of balls and twigs. So it was quite interesting just to see that, almost like he'd got his midfielder back. Whale, how did you feel about the game and how are you feeling today after that result?
I feel good. Excuse me, because those 3 points, like in the green room before the show started, as you were saying. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of boring. I did have it. I had the game on my iPad, and I've been rewatching Homeland, so I had Homeland on the projector, so I was watching both of those. Hate watching Carrie Matheson, if anybody knows anything about Homeland out there.
Okay. I thought she was pretty good, but anyway.
Oh, sure.
Let's wait for the
character. She plays the character great. That's how you know you're doing well, when people hate you. And
we'll do the Homeland pod another time.
Yeah. That's next week. But yeah, the game itself, it's as Tab said, I'm just happy with the result. I mean, this time of year, it doesn't need to be 6-0, 5-0. It just needs to be a win without injuries, and then we move on to the next game. So now, I mean, we were speaking about in the chat today, every game is the most important game, and then the second that game's over, the next game is the most important game, and that's how it is now until, May 19th?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I think, you guys put that perfectly right. It doesn't matter about the manner of the performance. That's maybe for preseason and the start of the season when fans are expecting more of the team and trying to put on a show, especially maybe for home games more than away games. But yesterday it was a professional performance, I feel, and there was no standout player that was extremely good. On the flip side, there was no standout player that was extremely bad. What I would say though, in terms of players, I thought Traore in the middle for Wolves, at Boubacar Traore had a very good game. But they were massively injury hit, weren't they? So it was a good showing from Wolves, and credit to their fans as well for not stopping singing for 90 minutes. Tabs and I were very close to going down to Wolves for the game, or going up, I should say, for you, Tabs, going up to Wolves for the game. But luckily, well, obviously you had car issues, I have shin issues. So maybe it was
there were big signs. There were big signs saying we should not go. So, on the boring front, on the gate, to the neutral, whatever, a bit like Man City. I could not find it boring because I was too goddamn nervous. Actually, there's no element of boredom there. I was too on edge about the game. Feels like Whale was just like chilling with a cigar. I'll just watch a couple of things. There's no dramas here. I was like, I was just like, I was too tense to find it to be finding it boring. That was my position on that. Yeah, I can understand maybe as a spectacle, and it wasn't, what we've been like, and we're not drilling in a load of goals. But then I was not expecting that. I didn't care about it, and yeah, it's interesting. I couldn't find it boring because I was too nervous, and that was me.
In terms of highlights and lowlights for the game, I just want to point out my highlight was NPC guy being spotted again in the crowd, front and center, literally on the halfway line, in the away crowd. That was a really.
Was there a away section? Because I didn't know that. So is there a away section? Not it's going sort of across
the
middle.
The away section is the full length of their the long side,
like
if you like.
East End or West End, like for Emirates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was quite nice to see him on the halfway line, and also it was nice to see a few Grovers obviously being there. In terms of low light, I would probably say it was 1 minute 30 seconds into the game and Bukayo Saka was fouled again, and I just thought, could this have been a game potentially where Arteta left him out and maybe brought him on as a sub? I just don't know whether he should have started the game. We've got Chelsea and Spurs coming up as well, and he needs a rest. He looks jaded, he looks tired, he looks hurt. Whether Martinelli and Trossard or even potentially Havertz or Jesus could have done different positions and allowed Bukayo Saka to rest, I'm not sure. And the other low light on the back of that is the fact that he played the full game as well. It was just, I don't know.
He'll get any rest, by the way, for the rest of this year. Like he's not. he can rest over the stuff.
Him, Odegaard, Rice, Havertz,
they get no rest.
Lieber, Gabriel, and Raya. Nah, and he's talking about it. These players have to play week in, week out. He's always said the best players, they have to play 90 minutes twice a week, 3 times a week. That's what you have to do. You get up and you go again, and he's relying on them. And to be honest, as I said, an 80% fit Saka is better than a fully fit Nelson. And as well, this is the biggest game of our season. We win it. Now the next game is the biggest game of the season. And if I was to say you, right, biggest game of the season, do you keep Saka in the team or not? Of course you go with him. So if game state would allow it, fine. If we're winning 4-0, 5-0, fine. We get him off, and which we did do earlier. But at the moment, as well said, that these players are playing, that's his mindset, and you just got to take it and get on with it. And to be, when you're winning, it somehow seems less painful and less tiring.
Yeah, I guess so. But on the flip side of that, Saka's also got the Euros, and he'll play 90 minutes. And well, England will get knocked out after the group stage, won't they? So he'll play 90 minutes.
Yeah, I could not care less, partly because I would be supporting Italy, but I don't care. We're thinking about now, so yeah, we'll worry about that when we'll worry about the off season and after Euros when it comes to it, and that's part of the transfer strategy is having to have decent backup for Saka, because long term we can't keep this, because come the age of 27 he'll be in a wheelchair.
But yeah, I do believe that like your best player should be playing all the time, but I also believe that every player's not built for that, and like Saka's not one of these guys that can play 90 minutes consistently and not pick up like little injuries here and there. Like there's some guys who are built like a tank and they can just play through it. You got like Ronaldo's and these guys where it's like it just doesn't matter. Saka's not one of those guys. Like he'll put the brave face on, he'll go out there, but it will slow him down a bit. It's just how much is it going to slow him down, and is he still effective? And that's why we also need to get some cover out there for him, because it'd be nice to be able to give him a rest every game.
Every now and then. But also, what does Saka want? You tell him, I'm going to bench you for this big game. No, you're bloody not.
Oh, he would like it.
I'm getting on there. That's not happening. So there's multiple facets to this. Anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, don't expect him resting anytime soon unless we're out of it or we're smashing it.
Tabs, what was your highlight and low light then from the game?
And it's sort of to my point about how I'm feeling, that second goal, just a relief. I think I'm sure I just shouted "fuck off" when the goal went in. It's like or "fuck you" or whatever. It's like just like okay, fine, done. So that was it. Just pretty big relief in that second goal, and it was a beautiful finish. I liked it. I had a bit of fault with before that, but yeah. it was good. So that was a very clear highlight. And in terms of low light, and on a similar thing to you, the tackle on Havertz. How is that not a red? Or how's VAR not looking at that? Standing foot, high studs into the sort of shin ankle area. Havertz was really lucky to get away with just a bit of whatever it felt, bit of soreness, and that could potentially be leg breaking. And then just the Tierney in general, just terrible. Like also the kick into face to Jesus, nothing. Oh, so is that allowed now? Just all this stuff just allowing to happen. It's just really wound me up. And then that was sort of similar to your point. First 90 seconds, Saka gets taken out from behind. Oh no, it's fine, it's allowed. It's the first 90 seconds. Here we go. So that was unfortunately a bit of a low light.
That's the problem with football nowadays with referees. They don't brandish a yellow card until 15, 20 minutes into a game if it was really bad. If that tackle was in the second half on Saka, I could have guaranteed it'd be a yellow. And you're right with the Havertz one. That was an absolute joke. That it wasn't even checked by VAR, was it? So, and there's a still on Twitter this morning that I've seen from the game, and it looked really, really bad. So, that's probably more an orange card, I would say, nowadays in the Prem, and I think it should have still been checked at the very least. Will, what about yourself? What was your highlight and low light from the game?
Highlight, well, obviously getting the win, but inside of the game, I really liked how Rice played. So that would be my highlight. His just all around game was great. Low light, just how we use or don't use our bench. I would just like to see some of these guys get more of a chance, just get more sort of in the rotation. I mean, Partey's getting a little tiny minutes. I still think Smith Rowe has something to give this team. I can understand some of the other guys not getting any time, but I think Smith Rowe has something to give this team. I was never the biggest fan of Vieira, just based on his build. I feel that he's too small, can be pushed off the ball super easy, but we spent like 30-odd million quid on him. So the guys that know way more about football than me seem to think that he could offer something, but then we don't play him. And other teams seem to be able to do that with their wage structure and then how they go about their business. But, like we're almost like the coupon clippers, like we're careful with our things. So it just feels that it's almost a waste. If he doesn't come into play next year, then I don't know what's going on. So I guess disappointing, not necessarily that game. It's the games in general with just not using our bench to its full potential.
Okay. And what about in terms of the lineup then, guys? It was pretty much as expected, wasn't it? I think I'm surprised no one's kind of low light from the game was Tomiyasu not being involved at all in the squad. And I don't think I noticed that until I had seen a message in the group potentially from someone saying, "Oh, Tomiyasu's not even been named as a sub." Rumor has it he's played more minutes for Japan this season than he has for Arsenal. I think that's true, isn't it? So that's a real worry, and I think it's probably the reason why we only gave him another year on his contract, potentially. I think his fitness is proving to be difficult, and it's just further testament to the fact that I think in the summer we will have to dip into the market for a left back. It's crazy that we can't trust essentially three of our regular left backs, Zinchenko, Kiwior and Tomiyasu. We can't really trust any of them, can we? There's a Scottish left back that's on playing in a European country and sunny country in Europe.
Don't go there. We've moved on.
Yeah, he's done, man.
Here, and he's a lovely lad with his Tesco's carrier bag, but he's not getting in this team.
It's a shame because he doesn't even play for Sociedad either. I mean, played. He's. I was having a look at this yesterday, just looking at the Tomiyasu situation. I thought, what would it be like to have Tierney? How many minutes has he played? And since international break, he's only played a grand total of 27 minutes, which is crazy. So benched last week. I think he played 6 minutes earlier on this weekend, and then 20 minutes at half of the international break. So it's like he's also got injury problems of his own.
Well, exactly.
Arsenal fullbacks and injury problems seem to go hand in hand. I was talking to Fraser about Hector Bellerin. Do you remember him? And after his ACL injury, just So, but I think it was a expected lineup. It was nice to see Trossard have a start over Martinelli for once, and and like Wales says, the bench is becoming a problem because it's. And I've mentioned this before in pods. I hope you guys will agree that we've got depth, but we don't have quality in depth. We've just got depth. So there's no point in having these guys if we're going to keep them on the bench. And you can see the body language of Nketiah, Nelson, Vieira, Smith Rowe after the game. After they were done eating their burgers on the bench, there was the body language was quite negative looking. I think they're just tired of not being able to play. So. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about that. I'm just a bit anxious for the summer transfer window. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm worrying about the summer transfer window in the summer. I just want to get through the next 6-7 games or whatever. Yeah, no, happy with the team. Yeah, left back is obviously a challenge. We no matter who we put there, either stay fit or we don't lack a bit of security. The rest of it was fine. Jesus, don't mind him up front, but I like him to stay up front. Sometimes he drops a bit too deep. There was one time when he was the last when I say defender, he came back and he was like, he was the last line of defence with the ball. I said, what on earth are you doing there? And then being how he is, he sort of tries to dribble it and you think, oh, don't get caught. So, I don't mind Jesus up front, and he was effective yesterday and he obviously set up the goal. But, and on the bench, it's only a strong bench if you use it at the moment. He can only trust, and we've said in the last pod, he only trust 2 or 3 players, and unless we're absolutely smashing it, he only trusts a couple of those players on the bench, and I think that's Partey, Zinchenko, or Kivior, who is there, or Tommy. And that's pretty much it. The rest are making up the numbers by the looks of things. But I accept it at the moment. Just we're winning the game and we move on. It could hit us down the road, but we'll see.
And Will, I want to ask you this. So obviously, I know you're watching Homeland and not the game for large chunks. But did you think that at any point in that game, even up to the point where Tabs almost jinxed it and said this game was going to finish 1-1, did you think the Wolves were even in this game at any point? I don't think they had many chances of note, did they?
I mean, we got that goal like a little before halftime. So then you start to feel a little better. But I mean, we didn't get the second one till way late. So pretty much the entire second half, I was always like, even though I see what you're saying, like Wolves didn't really have much of the ball, and they weren't too much of a threat, but you don't have to be. It only takes once to go now to draw. Now all of a sudden these guys' heads are down. Now how are they going to react to that? The season's on the line. So was I as nervous as Tabs? No. But and until we got that second one, I was like, this game's far from over. It would have been nice to have, got 2 quick ones in the first half. And then that would have made for more of a relaxing second half. But, we got the win. I think next week's going to be a lot harder than yet.
It was interesting because the first goal came right at the end of the first half and the second goal came right at the end of the second half. So it was almost like 2 45 minutes of nerves, and then that release, we've managed to score, and then we've managed to win the game. Good finish by Odegaard for the second. But I think we always talk about how it needs to be a professional performance, and we said earlier on at this stage of the season, and I think the fans on the ground and the fans watching were nervous, so it kind of almost translated on to the field as well. I think the players looked nervous to not make any mistakes or whatever. So to be honest with you, there's not really much to say about the performance itself. I just think it's more about some individual decisions, key decisions, and those were, I guess, the referee, for the likes of the Havertz, potentially tackling, the one you mentioned, Tabs, on Gabby Jesus. Don't know if you have anything to add on the first half stats wise or anything.
Well, I think this is the thing. If you're a neutral watching it, you think, Arsenal dominating, doing the usual. Fair enough. They're not creating much. First half, our decision making was a bit poor. We could have been a bit faster. We just, that final third wasn't great. So we were dominating, but not much happening, and there wasn't any the end product to that. So as you said, you just get anxious because you've seen it there before. We've seen it before this season where it's just such a narrow margin. So all it takes is one piece of luck, one bad decision, and then you're out of it. So I think that was. Whereas if you're watching as a neutral, just thinking, oh, God, Arsenal Wolves have got nothing. Okay, they had that. So was it? They had that one. They're a bit better. But yeah, we were in total control, total dominance. Just game state, our anxieties made it feel a lot worse. I think had it been earlier in the season, I think we would have been a lot more chilled about it. And very much, no, this is fine. It's going to come. So yeah, it's very interesting how your mentality changed, how you're feeling, and then the players will be feeling it as well. They know as much as we do. They'll be feeling it. They'll be sensing it. So you could see some of that anxiousness, trying too hard, trying to rush things a bit instead of okay, let's just play a game and all the rest of it. But just at the moment, we're just not in that fluidity, not in that rhythm like we were a few games ago, and it just takes maybe a game like this just to potentially get that back and get right. We've got that win under our belt, and the sort of momentum will start to build again.
I know Will said he was impressed with Declan Rice, but David Raya made a very good save onto the post. And Normie, who is finally back from his holiday, how dare you go on holiday during the season and leave us without stats, Normie? But one of the stats was we have now kept 6 consecutive clean sheets in the Premier League away matches for the first time in our history. So that's West Ham, Burnley, Sheffield United, Man City, Brighton, Wolves. And he says this also means that now David Raya is the second goalkeeper in Premier League history to keep a clean sheet in 6 consecutive away games after, who do you guys think? I'll put out to Wales versus Tab, see who else, what other goalies.
If we get to check, that's the league record, and I think the league record is tied with United and Chelsea.
Fair to check, isn't it? Well, the record is 7. The record is
Chelsea and United.
Yeah.
So it's a check.
The record is 7. So we need to get a clean sheet against Tottenham to get the full record.
The answer is Edwin van der Sar from Man United.
Okay.
Yeah. So. But I just thought it was a really good performance from David Raya as well. He was clearing a lot of the balls into the box as well, and just looked really confident. And and you know what? At the end of the day, look, if you'd said to me, we're going to win 2-0, we're going to maintain pressure on City, we're going to go top of the league. They don't play until Thursday. We play again on Tuesday. It was good, really, really good. I don't think there was anything really of note that I was worried about for David Raya's performance. No. I think having him at the back is so much different to Ramsdale.
Yeah. No, he was. There was a couple of things. I think, he was calm, did some good saves. I mean, that was a great save onto the post, reactionary, but it wasn't easy. He had to make it, and to keep it at 0-0 that point was excellent. But I don't know, it's good. And there was one thing that he did towards the end of the game, where he came and claimed and took out the player and just got the ball. And that's what you really need your goalkeeper to do when things are a bit tight, things are a bit tense. Ball comes into the box, right? This is mine. I don't care who's in the way. And the player went down injured. And was like, was that a No, that was a great take. So when he did that, it was a couple of times there was balls coming into the box. He would take them near post. So no, he it was one of his better performances, and it was better than recent. So it makes a difference, and he's always available there. He wasn't on the halfway line like he was against Bayern. He was like in his proper place. So that was good to see.
And there was no dodgy moments between Gabriel and Raya either, which was nice to see for a change. So that was good. There's not really much more to talk about for Wolves. Let's just discuss Chelsea, shall we? Unless anyone else has anything to add.
Another little tidbit stat. I don't know. Did we say it earlier about the what was it? They scored in 26 home games, and we stopped them from scoring. So
Wolves have only not scored once at home in the last 26 games, and that was like a Brentford game. So the fact that Wolves were not at full strength, but they've still got a good record at home and stuff like that. So we're going to away game.
Did they not beat Chelsea? Did they not beat City as well?
Beat City. Yeah, they've got a good record against the top. what would people consider the top six. I think they've drawn and beaten Tottenham. I think they've beaten Chelsea twice, beaten City. So they've been good. Look, they were depleted, so this was not their best team. People were, Huang had to come off at half time. They had a person making his full debut. This wasn't the Wolves of early in the season, but still, you've got to go there. Yeah, but we're not exactly we're not exactly on top form either. We're struggling a bit. So there's no cliche. There's no easy games in the Premiership, irrespective, of what happens or who you're playing. So they make it hard. But we showed our dominance and we made it count. I just wanted to talk about the goals. That would be good because in terms of the first one, 1-0 Trossard. What do we think? Did he mean it?
Yeah, based on his history, yeah. Because he says what he wanted to do, and then you look at it, and then it looks like he tried to hit it with his toe. And I mean, there's another interesting stat as well. Out of, I think, the last 2 years, he's the most two-footed scorer in the Prem.
Wow.
Like his percentage versus right foot versus left foot. It's like a 50%, 30% split, which is a lot better than pretty much everyone else. And he goes into a story about how his granddad made him practice with both feet. So based off of all of that, I'll just give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, no, I think so. But what I also liked, what Jesus did, he was half the size of the guy, and Wolves wanted a foul. And I'm sorry, but Jesus' arse was bigger than the other guys, and he didn't fall over. And actually, Jesus did fall over, but how quickly did he get up? And then he sort of passed it, fell to Trossard. So I was impressed with Jesus for that, because there's no way that was a foul. It was just stronger, and it was the same combo again as Bayern, and it was a sweet finish into top bins. There we go, a sweet finish.
I think maybe he didn't mean it for the ball to go in that trajectory, but he definitely meant to shoot, and he definitely, I think the ball was just a little bit ahead of him, and just the way that he hit it. But I think he was meaning to obviously shoot. I don't think he meant it to look as nice as what it did posting in. That's always so much nicer than the ball just going into the back of the net. So in terms of Odegaard's goal, I touched on it before. Great, just awareness to think, right, instead of passing it back along the box and get a tap in for someone, I'm going to try to just shoot into the near post with the keeper. I really, really liked that. That was really smart from him.
But that wasn't. But he had tried just to do that though, and that was what frustrated me a bit, because I thought he was in no position to shoot, and he did try and cross it, and there wasn't really anyone free to cross it. So the next option was we do
like the Havertz lot. I mean, there's an argument.
Yeah.
If Havertz has a different mindset, he doesn't even make that pass. Like, he takes his chance.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but we are an overlapping team, so I guess that it's just the way you play. So I was actually a bit frustrated when it first happened. So, Odegaard, what are you doing? There's no, because actually Wolves all game, when you looked at it, when we had it wide, especially down the right, they had like 6, 7, 8 players in the box, and it was like so hard to find the red shirt because it was just so crowded. And then you've got Trossard and you've got Jesus, so it's not exactly like you've got a load of height in there as well to find. So all game. Now, this was the one time, but we were 4 against 3, so there was a bit more space. But actually, it was a bit of a tired pass. He just lucky it fell back to him, ricocheted back to Odegaard, and then you're right, it was a beautiful finish. And there's an angle where it was just like, it was literally only the width of a ball that he could get it in there. So that was good. But the last 6 minutes of it, all of added time, Saka had a chance.
Yeah,
could have got it in
the right foot goes way up.
Yeah. And then Nelly had a chance. It was a good save by Sarr, but I think Saka's reaction suggests that he could have squared it to Saka.
Not even that, Tabs. I think Saka's reaction, he could have squared it, but I also think Martinelli should be doing a ton better there. One-on-one, you've got the run on the defender, you're running towards goal, just finesse it into one of the corners or take it around the keeper even. But
no, that's the last. No, that's in the 90. This was the one in the 93rd, and then the 96th, which would have been so nice for goal difference. That's the one where it was 1-on-1 and then should.
Oh right, okay, yeah,
and that was the one, and Sarr saves again, and that would have been a nice 3-0. That would have been good for goal difference. Let's pick that back up. Look,
I didn't have the best game. I mean, if I'm the goalkeeper coach, I'm our second goal should have been a save. Like if that's like if you're a Wolves fan, like, you're really upset if he scores that goal.
Yeah.
It looks nice, but it's
beat it.
the way Salah was positioned was like he was even. It's almost like his body was facing the other way, and he had his head turned to look at Odegaard, so he wasn't even in a position to even do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, no goalkeeper gets likes being beaten at the near post. Anytime at the near post, they're always going to think, damn, they're at fault. So
we'll take it though.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And who was it talking about Rice? You know, you're saying he was man of the match by Sky. That final 10-15
minutes. All over the place.
Oh my God! Did someone just inject him with something because it was Pep on the sideline? Here you go. And it was
nice.
The answer to that question is Thomas Partey. I said this at the start of the pod. Honestly, when Thomas Partey came on, if you can, watch the last 15 minutes of that game again. When Thomas Partey comes on, we looked so much better yesterday. We looked so good. Honestly, I've seen tweets, copious amounts of tweets from it as well this morning. Thomas Partey changed the way that we played for the last 50 minutes. No, it allowed Odegaard and Rice just to play so much more free, and that's why it looked like Rice had the second wind, so to speak. But it was just of how free he was, and the second goal came from Partey, who had a chance to make a really silly forward pass that he would normally potentially try, but he slowed the game down and found the path, and we finally. The ball managed to find its way into the back of the net. So the answer to that is Thomas Partey. Yeah. And I think Declan Rice also won man of the match for the Premier League as well, didn't he? So
Now, it's interesting that you wanted to skip the Kivior conversation, considering you've been banging his drum in the last 3 pods.
I don't want to skip it at all. I just think, look, I will say, yes, Kivior was poor yesterday. There was one chance where I think he let kind of like the ball hit off his head, and then he did get back in time to kind of put the defender off. That was the one where Raya saved onto the
that was at the beginning of the game almost. Was that Gomez? Sort of. Yeah, he just had him out of position.
But I really like what you've done here, Tab. So we will talk about it. You've done a pros versus cons table. So fine, we can talk about him. But the one thing I don't agree with is are we more defensively sound with him in the team versus Zinchenko? So you're trying to do that for clickbait, Tab.
No. One's positive and one's minus. So the point is, okay, let me talk through it. So I said, okay, look, actually, I don't think Kivior had that bad a game. He had that one bad moment where he wasn't strong enough. Gomez got away, and that's where the shot came from. But I think overall he did all right. So the positives are he can play 90 minutes. Tomiyasu, we don't know where he is fitness. Zinchenko, he has to come off after 60, 70 minutes. He was, again, part of a team with a clean sheet. So, you can't help that. His height when defending in the penalty area is great. And what I actually quite like, even though I'm not so big a fan of having Gabriel in the middle, is Ben White was more attacking. You could see him overlapping more and interplaying more with Saka and Odegaard, because he could be the freer defender making attacks. So those are in terms of negatively. The question is, everyone complains about Zinchenko, but you saw how Kivior was. Are we more defensively sound with him in the team versus Zinchenko? That's a debate up to there. Is 50-50 because he's playing out of position. He's not a left back. He's just forced to play there, and he's developed, but he's not traditionally a left back. He was ball discovered for Gabriel. And sometimes you will see games where players that don't trust him, they're not passing to him. We're going to the Bayern first leg. He's there waiting for the ball, and they'll look for somewhere else to pass. So in terms of negatives, it was just trying to think pros and cons. Look, it's a problem area for us, and that there is no ideal solution. If Tomiyasu could stay fit, then fine, we keep him in there. We don't have to worry about it. But because we haven't got that thing, it's like, you have to weigh out these pros and cons. All the other positions seem to be okay. This is the one that's there, and that's why I meant about, are we more defensively sound with him? Is that I don't know. That would have to be something that you'd have to underline metrics, look at it all, whatever.
Yeah, hard to say. I mean, Saliba almost gave the away. He kicked the ball right into it. Well, obviously the Wolves guys saw it, came over, checked it down. That could have been a goal right there. Now we're talking it. Now it's a completely different game.
Yeah, and you're not going to say anything about Saliba. We know, and look, I think Wale, you say, well, he's got credit in the bank, so that's fine.
So I'd still be furious.
Of course we would be, but you wouldn't be saying, right, ship him out and let's get the next best thing in. It sort of thing. It's just there we are. So, yeah, no, the reason I mentioned it is because I think it was the standout moment that was not great for Arsenal throughout the whole game. But in essence, if that's the only bad thing that happens, you would also take that. This is where we have to potentially take risks with our squad. We are not taking it further up the field, but that left back is where we have to take a bit more of a risk and see what happens with the players there. So this is maybe a bit where we're using our squad, because fine, if Tommy was getting his massage and just getting fit and staying away from it, so he's fit for Chelsea, fit for Tottenham, great, let's play Kivior. If he's not, then there's a bit more of a concern. But that's where we are with that.
I said this on a pod a couple of episodes ago, dropping after Kivior's display against Bayern and getting subbed off in the second half in the first leg. It would have knocked his confidence massively, the fact that then he was dropped again for the second leg, and potentially that could be why his performances aren't as good as what they were 6, 7, 8, 9 games ago. So it could be that, players are humans at the end of the day. So, and he's a young footballer. He's not played in the Premier League for a long period of time. He's only just found his way into the Arsenal squad. So could his confidence just be getting knocked by the fact that, he was dropped, taken off at halftime, then dropped and whatnot. So yeah, I'm reserving judgment on Kivior until he has made 2 mistakes in 2 seasons leading to an Arsenal title collapse, just like our other left back has. So I'll reserve judgment just until then. No one prediction is right again, as usual. We're getting really bad at this. Will, this is why we've gotten you back.
You were
close, Fab. Yeah, you weren't correct. So, Will, this is why you're back. So you need to, at the end of this podcast, give us the correct prediction for Chelsea. The Grovers are losing a lot of money on our predictions, Will, so we need you to come and fix that. So,
actually, Moz, you forgot to say welcome to our competition winner.
Oh, of course. How could I forget? Will, you were the only winner of the competition that predicted Arsenal to lose 1-0 again.
Yeah, man. I was hoping that wasn't going to be the case.
And your prize being you're on the pod. There we go.
Look at that.
Yes, I was going to say the prize was you got a ticket to Everton for the last game of the season, but no, that's fine. You're on the pod. So, you can take that instead. Tab just said you're ready. I'm sorry. What he says was the prize. So, in terms of, just before we talk about Chelsea, what this result kind of means for the rest of the season. So, top, obviously, we play again before City, so we'll have 2 games on them and potentially be 4 points clear. All they need to do is just draw or lose 1 game, and then, God, that'll be it. And then watch us end up losing to Everton in the last game of the season or something stupid. Just knowing our club. But honestly, there's some stats going around online about Man City and their corresponding fixtures with these teams that they're playing away. Does anyone have that to hand?
No, it's something like last season they dropped 7 points, and this season they've already dropped 5 points or something like that against these teams. So something like that.
Okay, and obviously, Man City are Man City, right? They're not infallible, but normally at this stage of the season they go on to win pretty much every game. Until they don't, and that run has to end at some point, right? And when you look at it, Bernardo Silva's crying, Pep Guardiola's crying about their fixture congestion, which really is a bugbear of mine, because they played Wednesday and then Saturday, but teams who play Europa play Thursday, Sunday, so Wednesday, Saturday is not actually that bad, and then they don't play now again until Thursday, but whereas we played on Wednesday, and then we played again on Saturday, so we played the same, and then we play on Tuesday. So if anyone should be agreed, it should be Arsenal.
Well, it is nonsense, because basically we're playing 4 games in 10 days and they're playing 4 games in 14 days or something like that. I was meant to copy the tweet that I saw the stats, but yeah. So basically our situation is worse than theirs. Yeah, and they're bitching about us. And also, you don't see any of our players wanting to be asked to be substituted. You see that against Real Madrid. Like, I don't know, De Bruyne wanted to get substituted off. I don't know if Haaland was the same, but their players are even asking to be taken off. It's like something you can see the cracks. I'm hoping. Okay, I'm clutching. There's a whole bunch of straws there that I'm clutching here, but but yeah, it just goes. There's something not quite right. Like, if you're this machine and you're this team, you don't be asking to be coming off in a quarter final against Real Madrid. You don't want to be coming up. You don't bitch and moan about this. There is a bigger discussion around playing players into the ground and all that sort of thing, and this is the problem with being successful and stuff. But Man City, I'm not having that, because they've got the numbers to make it work for them, both financially and corruptly and squad wise. So yeah, I'm not having that. Not from them.
No, and I guess we are very much so clutching at straws here when we say, obviously, they've got Thursday, Sunday, they've got Brighton away, then Forest away. Now, Forest will probably have 4 penalty appeals and all, unfortunately, given to Man City for some reason. They're really, really. I don't know if you guys have seen the latest tweet from the Nottingham Forest official Twitter account. It's well worth a read if you haven't already. But yeah, I think the only team really that could potentially stop City is the penultimate game of the season, Tottenham away. Maybe would Tottenham do Arsenal a favour though and let us win the league? I'm not sure. So we just need to look. At the end of the day, Rodri's asking to get rested, and Haaland's not been firing on all cylinders, and he never played against Chelsea yesterday. And De Bruyne looks a bit sore and tired, and so like you say, Tabs, there are cracks starting to appear. But on the flip side, we just need to focus on ourselves and not even think about what City are doing, because if they do drop points, then they do, and if not, then we can say, look, we only finished 2 points behind them at the end of the season if we win the rest of ours and they win the rest of theirs, or at 1 point, even, or whatever it'll be. So, look, whatever happens. It's been a good run, but they're relentless, aren't they? They are relentless. And
I mean, they're relentless because we let them in. Like we were ahead of them and we stumbled. And then now it's they're relentless. They're relentless because we allowed them back. The same way we sort of allowed Liverpool back, but Liverpool has sort of faltered. Like we were in a commanding position, just like we were last year. So I get all this relentless thing, but they're only relentless when all of a sudden we falter.
Yeah.
Surely they're due a loss, though. They've not lost since the 6th of December, so surely they're due a loss at some point. Obviously, it doesn't really count if you lose to Madrid on penalties, but surely due a loss. And Tab, I'm just going to say, put it out there right now, stop trying to get a reaction out of Wales. Like, you changed the word Liverpool to pool, you then now made it ball, and you kept your cursor on it. Match of Wales, and now you highlight it.
We see it.
Yeah, you're just trying to get a reaction. It's just not possible. He's not Wales yet. Oh God, he's made it massive now as well. So, and the reason why you're mentioning Liverpool is because we can't forget them, right? But really, I mean, we watched them. Their luck is running out. Their luck is, honestly, I feel like it's running out now. They're currently playing against Fulham. It's 0-0 half an hour in, and Salah's not playing. Nunez isn't playing, and I don't know. I'm not worried at all about Liverpool. Really, I'm not worried at all.
Yeah. Anyway, to be honest, as I said, there's nothing we can do about the other teams. We've got to go away, win our next game, and then take it from there. It's just about the next game. Can't even think. Not even thinking about next Sunday. Let's think Tuesday. That's all it is. That's what we got to do, because the rest of it is irrelevant if we don't do our work in the one before. So,
what do we think for Tuesday then? What do we think in terms of lineup for Tuesday? Do we think Arteta goes same again, or do you think potentially Thomas Partey comes into the fold against that Chelsea team?
I'll switch it up a little bit. I think that I know he wants to do whatever he can to get Jesus on the pitch, but I think Havertz has to play up top because he plays better up top. Now, I think Trossard deserves to have another start. Like he scores goals for us. I think he's second on the team, like in this, and he doesn't even start. I think you keep those two guys there, and then you work everyone else around that.
Jorginho comes back in. Kivior's there. Put it like this: Zinchenko or Jorginho, not both. I'd suggest. But if Tommy's fit, then Tommy plays. Jorginho on the left, I don't care. I'm happy for Trossard to be sub and Jesus there, or vice versa. Not too much. But you're right. Havertz up top, and then we have the double with Jorginho and Rice. I don't think Partey's fit enough yet for a full game. Still.
Jorginho really comes in. Sorry, Will. What did you say?
So who do we think's playing on the right?
Good one. Good question. Reece Nelson.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, yeah, Jorginho obviously never played yesterday, did he? So, yeah, to be fair, I think he starts. It'll be interesting to see Jorginho and Havertz against Chelsea at the Emirates. I wonder if they'll get booed as much as because was there boos in the reverse fixture? I can't remember. It was that long ago, and I think we were 2-0 down at the point where I kind of mentally checked out of that one. But yeah, for me personally, I would love to see same back four. I'd give Kivior a chance, and then middle Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard, and then up top, I would love to have Trossard have another chance. I know he's that impact sub that everyone loves, but he just gives us something different as well. And Martinelli's not been firing on all cylinders at the moment, so Trossard, Havertz, Saka for me up top, and then obviously Aaron Ramsdale in goal. David Ryan in goal. Sorry, thought it was last season all over again. What are you guys looking forward to then? Are you guys both going to this game? Are you both going to be in attendance?
No, I won't, man. I'll be with a Tuesday night, right? And I'll be at work, or just finishing work or somewhere along those lines. But now I won't be able to make it.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Tab, you'll be there, won't you?
Yeah, I've got a good ticket. It's sort of like practically halfway line, row 6. So I've got a nice upper tier. So yeah, I'll have a good view. It's a long game. So
I'll be watching from home with the leg up
from hospital.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
So what are you looking for?
What do you think of?
No,
what are your predictions then for this game? I'm interested to see. Wales had a chance to think about this, so.
What are you looking forward to? I want to mention.
Sorry. Yeah,
no, it's right. It's only because I want to mention I'm not looking forward to. But
okay. On you go, Tabs. On you go. What are you looking forward to?
In terms of looking forward to, I just want to beat them. I really despise them. I think I would hate them worse than Tottenham. They are just a horrible, odious clown car of a club with no class. The team, the players, the supporters, just absolutely. I can't stand them for whatever. And I would love it. I would go Kevin Keegan here. I'd love it if Havertz scored against them. That'd be beautiful. I'd love it. Although it'll be interesting to see what his celebration's like. I think he'll celebrate. I don't think he gives two shits about that club. Who does? They're just a horrible, odious team. So really, we have to beat them. I couldn't even, the league aside, I just want to beat Chelsea, because in terms of not looking forward to, it's the journey up. Last year on the tube, it was full of the most obnoxious, irritating fans getting into people's faces, trying to chat with people. And it wasn't even just commuters, not even just, Arsenal supporters and stuff. And it was just go away. Just leave me alone. It was just, and I'm just hoping it's not the same this year, because it was just obnoxious irritants, and just really sharing a confined space with them. It was just, yeah. So sorry that I'm really anti.
You're really feeling quite strongly about this, aren't we? So,
shall I sit on the fence? I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
No. In terms of Wales, then, what are you looking forward to and not looking forward to for the Chelsea game? Is there anything more kind of strong than
no, it's nothing like that. I mean, I think they're probably one and the same. Like I'm looking forward to playing the game, and I'm not looking forward to playing the game. I just want to get it over with, man. I think they have more weapons to hurt us than Wolves do. So a little nervous about it. When I could see it, I can see so many different ways. I mean, I can see us, sort of getting a win somewhat comfortably. I can see it being a heartbreaking draw, and I can also see them beating us. So it's just have to roll the ball out there and see what happens, man. I don't know where our team's mindset's at. I'm not totally convinced that we're as mentally strong as we need to be. And as these games get close to the end of the year, you'd like to think that, they've learned off of just missing out on Champions League places 2 years ago. They've learned from just missing out on a title last year. They should be fucking bulletproof this year, but I don't think they are. So we're about to find out.
I can't see anything but an Arsenal win. I really can. I think I'm just looking at the notes there. They're a horrible, odious clown car of a club who can't defend or attack, but somehow can be dangerous. Now, there's not a chance that they win at the Emirates or even take points of us at the Emirates. This is one of the games that I'm not worried about. Yes, they may be unbeaten in the last 7 Premier League games, but let's look at who they've played against and let's look at the manner of their performances if you really want to do that, right? So Chelsea have obviously I say the manner of their performances, and they beat Everton 6-0, didn't they? So,
but then they draw 2-2 with Sheffield United taking the lead. The thing is, there should be goals because they can score goals. That's one thing that they can do. They are dangerous on tactics, but they can't defend. And it's interesting they can score goals. If you look at Jackson yesterday, how is he? He's terrible, absolutely terrible. He just can't control a sack of cement, that guy, and he has no idea where the goal is. And somehow still they've scored 20 goals in the last 7 games, so on average almost 3 a game. But they've let in 12, so almost 2 again. So yeah, every game's averaging 3-2 basically. I think with Wales, who knows where it's going to go, but I can't see there not being goals at either end. It's just who's going to come out on top.
I'm looking at these results and I really don't see anything special. Yeah, you beat Everton 6-0. Everton are looking like they're going to maybe get relegated. Then you draw 2-2 against Sheffield United. You just about beat Man U because Cole Palmer scores penalties, and he is a good player. Not gonna lie, I would take him at Arsenal in a heartbeat. But then you draw 2-2 against Burnley, another relegation threatened team. Then they beat Newcastle, and prior to that they drew with Brentford, another relegation team. So 3 teams that are potentially, were fighting for relegation, they've drawn 2-2 against. So I am honestly not worried. Can we please get to the predictions, because I really want to.
You literally just shot short of the draw they had with City. So that's,
and they could have won that one.
So that's kind of like
could have won that one.
I didn't do that. I didn't do that on purpose. I did.
It was back in February. Nothing. That's ages ago. God, that's Asian history. Let's forget about it.
To be fair, 17th of February to the 21st of April. That that over 2 months. So really, that's But the worry I've got obviously is Cole Palmer. He has he's scoring.
Don't give away a penalty. He's fine otherwise. Don't give away a penalty.
This is the argument that the discussion I had with Fraser yesterday, and on his birthday as well. I said, look, he scored penalties and scores them for fun, but at the same time, you have to still score. You have to put the ball in the back of the net. So, whether we give him a penalty or not, if he's got the ball in the 12-yard kind of area, then chances are he'll know how to score or what to do or whatever. So, I know penalties favour the attackers a lot more and things nowadays, but you still got to be in those positions to actually score the goals. And he's also got 9 assists. So I think he's leading the charts with goal and assist contributions this season, I believe. So the only worry really, and the other worry I've got is Malo Gusto, the right back.
Yeah,
he looked quite good yesterday against City. Nicholas Jackson, we all know, just cannot finish his dinner though, which is positive. So,
watch him score. Watch him score. So there we go. But look, we'll see. Yeah, I think there'll be goals. We just got to watch on the counter. That's where their danger on the counter. So that's why I just hope Tomiyasu's fit. I really, really, really do. But we should have the better of them. We are the better team. They're 9th for a reason. So. As I said, they're a bit of a clown car team. Who knows what's going to turn up? Yeah, hopefully them trying to attack would gives us space. So if we can just find our shooting boots, become clinical, the game's ours. If it's tight, then don't know. Just want to beat them so bad.
What's your prediction then, Tabs? Don't say 3-1, please.
Okay. 3-2.
Oh God, Whale.
Yeah. That's
Whale. This is very tense. The Grovers are. Henry and CERN, the two gambling Grovers are waiting with bated breath for this prediction.
4-2. Us.
4-2.
Wow.
We found our shooting boots.
Yeah, well, mine is the same as what I went for with Wolves, 4-1. We're bound to win 4-1 at some point, whether it's this season or next. So I'm going to keep doing it until we do. So, 4-1 for me. I don't know. I just have a feeling. A feeling that we'll score goals. We're at home. We'll have the crowd behind us. And I don't know, we'll be buoyed by that. So, yeah. One final thing before we finish. Babak 302. Do you remember him? This guy supposedly from California. Well, he's commented on the last Spotify description, just saying, if I were paid X amount, I would cross a corner onto the head of a striker. Has to be the most absurd statement I've heard in a long time. So here's what we're going to do, Babak 302, or is it Babak 602? Sorry. Excuse me. What we're going to do is I'm going to invite you over from California, and we're going to have a competition. We'll have 10 crosses, and Tabs and Whale will be in the box. They will...
I'll use my height.
One will be defending, and one will be attacking. And I will put the ball on the head of the attacker 10 times. And Babak, if you can beat me in that, then you can host the next episode of the Grove podcast, all the way from California. How about that? Although I have a sneaky suspicion that it's indeed not from California and maybe from a sunnier place called Glasgow, but that's yet to be confirmed. So, Babak,
are you being trolled?
I believe so. I believe so. So, yeah, anyway, guys, really appreciate you guys taking the time out to record. Arsenal, again, we're back top of the league. There's nothing much more to say. Thank you for me, and goodbye.
Yeah,
Bye, everyone.